She says, I wish that I could be like the cool kids.
Hi guys, this is Dana. Hopefully you all know that by now, but if you don't, then go back and check my previous videos. I'm new here, so be easy on me. But this video is going to be a little bit more serious and talk about a subject that I actually don't usually speak of. I was scrolling through Facebook the other day and I came across a link that I clicked on called like people who write suicide notes on Facebook. So I was reading through some comments of one of them, and this one girl said in a comment that she was upset that the girl killed herself before she could kill her because she's always hated her. So that kind of gave me the idea for this next video, which is speaking on bullying. I'm completely against that topic. I think bullying is horrible. I mean, sometimes you have thoughts that you don't really even think are mean until you think of them, and then you're kind of like, oh, I probably shouldn't think that, but not everyone can help themselves. I know I can't sometimes. Sometimes I have thoughts that are really mean about people who I don't even know. Maybe I should get to know. I'm a very judgmental person. I hate to say it. I try not to be, but I am. It's just, I cross the line at really bullying like that. I do not think that's cool of anyone to do, ever, and I really hope that you guys aren't like that. When I was in 7th grade, I moved to a brand new school on Long Island, same place, only about 10 or 15 minutes away, so I was still kind of close, but it was still very new. I didn't know anyone. I knew a few of my cousins went there, but they were all years younger than me, so I wouldn't be in any schools with them or classes or anything, and I was extremely nervous. Now, growing up, my parents were both very outgoing, and then when they died, I moved in with my aunt, who is also very outgoing, so I grew up to be a very outgoing girl. And then when I moved to Rocky Point, I was a little bit quieter, and I made friends quite easily, actually. I made friends on the very first day. I sat with them at their lunch table the very first day. I had classes with them. But in Spanish, there was this one boy who basically made it his life mission to torture me. I spent the next 6 years afraid of having classes with him, running into him in the halls, or just seeing him anywhere in general, because I was afraid of what he might say or do. I've seen this kid before push people in the halls, or just make fun of them right to their faces with their friends. He was not a nice kid whatsoever, and I really feared running into him anywhere. So I had Spanish with this kid who, like, basically, I don't know, not right away, because I was sitting next to one of my friends far away from him in the classroom when the teacher decided to move me, because Spanish was never a really good subject. I was far in the back, so she wanted to move me upwards, and she moved me right next to him. That was probably a month into the school year, and basically from the second that I moved right there, that's when he started teasing me in any way you could possibly think of. So I hated Spanish. I would actually skip it a few times, or I would purposely be absent from school just to miss the class if I didn't want to skip it. I hit it 4th period every day, right before lunch, and it was the worst thing imaginable. I hated that class so much, and I actually, was afraid to do anything, so I just kind of sat there with my head down in my books, not paying attention, trying to avoid eye contact, not speaking one word unless I absolutely had to, and that severely dropped my grades, I will admit that. At first it started off kind of slow. He just kind of say, "Oh, hi," in a mocking tone, but then it got a little bit worse where he would always volunteer for the team captain because there were 6 rows, so there would do rows of 2 for teams if we played games, and our rows were right next to each other. We were always on the same team. So he would always volunteer for the team captain just to make me have to go up to the board and write everything because he knew that I hated it and feared it and it was very awkward. And then he'd laugh if I got answers wrong. He'd make fun of me. Once I do remember a particular time we had to do charades, but not really because it was the drawing thing, so I don't know what that's called, I'm sorry. And I got a pen, and I'm a horrible drawer. I'm sorry if you ever have to see it because I'm really bad. And then I'll just say my pen kind of looked like a painting on the wall, and he was laughing so hard about it for the next few days, making fun of me for that drawing, which I don't think is a very good excuse, but it made me feel very insecure. I was like so terrified. I was just trying to ignore him, but no one ever really paid attention to it. I would talk to my friends about it, and they would say, oh, just ignore him, which is what I was doing, but it wasn't getting any better. I do remember one time there was this girl who told him to stop, but he didn't, and she kind of let it go after that, but I did appreciate it at the time. So I went through all of 7th grade fearing for Spanish, basically crying every time I had to walk there because I was so scared. It was miserable, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who had that happen to them, which I think no one should have that happen to them. What really hit the boiling point for me was when he found out that my parents had died, and he started asking questions, and then started laughing about it, and then started teasing me about it. And the girl in front of him, she would always be like, oh, that's so horrible, you shouldn't do that. But she would laugh about it and basically say it to seem nicer to me, just cheered him on. They were really good friends. And when he first asked if I had parents, she laughed it off. And she was like, of course she does. And I just kind of ignored him. And then he knew when he got worse. And in 8th grade, I had math with this guy. And he sat not right next to me, but diagonal from me. And he didn't let up. It was miserable. So I feared this guy all throughout middle school and all throughout high school. But I really didn't have to the last 2 years because he kind of stopped talking to me or seeing me in the middle of 10th grade. I was still just very, very nervous that he might decide to just pick it up again one day and continue with teasing me. Now, I looked a lot different than I did in high school and middle school than I do now. I basically only changed a little bit halfway through 12th grade, I guess I would say. Maybe a little bit before that I started changing. But I was a very, very nerdy, weird-looking kid. I will admit that. I still don't think that gives him the right excuse to pick me out and make fun of me. I hope you guys all agree. But he didn't care. Now I believe that something must have been going on with him. He was a very short kid. Maybe that didn't help. And I'm a very tall girl. He probably got made fun of a little bit for being short, but he was also on the football team. He had a lot of friends. He could probably date basically anyone he wanted. And he still chose to be like that. Which there are a lot of guys, even girls out there, who tear each other down and make fun of each other for either their own amusement or to make themselves feel better. I know I do it sometimes. I know I shouldn't, and I'm trying to stop. I don't do it a lot. I don't even do it to the people because I don't want them to feel bad. And I hope you guys are the same way. I hope you guys don't do it at all because it's not cool, and I'm not the only one who has that kid out there who makes fun of them. I was happy to graduate because he moved upstate to college and I'll never have to see him again, which makes me very happy. I don't know why people do it. I know that there are rumors that some people do it because there's something wrong in their life, so they have to do it to make themselves feel better. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't care. It's just wrong. Some people get bullied so much they do wind up taking their own lives, and I have no words for that, because you only really realize what you're doing until it's too late, and some people don't even care when it happens, like that girl who wrote on her status saying that she was happy the girl killed herself, but yet she was upset because she didn't get to kill her first, and she always hated her. That, maybe I'll put it there if I can find it again. I'll put it somewhere over there. I don't know. If you have stories about you getting bullied, or your friend getting bullied, or anyone you know or anything getting bullied, put it down below, because I would love to hear about it, comment back, say how bad that is, give you advice, anything you guys need. But this is a very serious topic that I think is horrible and shouldn't even be a problem. People just should accept everyone, because we all have feelings, and sometimes people get pushed too far and it's too late. So if you liked this video, then, click the little thumbs up below, and if you want to hear more of my stories or anything challenges, some will be happier, some will be, I guess, a little bit more upsetting.
'Cause all the cool kids